West with a sack fly there and a good base running to get the Jack Martinez with a good base run to get to third base, and then we went safety squeeze with Carter French and a little more small ball than we normally play. But it was just I think those 2 runs early allowed West to settle in. But you could tell from the top of the first, and we talk about it all the time, we preach it. When Jamie and Wes are on the mound, especially when we're the home team, for them to go out and deal in the first inning and kind of go 1, 2, 3. And then bring our lineup up with AJ, the catalyst, kind of leading it off and going from there, and for us to put runs on the board, and especially a crooked number, I think it really allowed him to settle in. But Wes has thrown some really good games this year, but I thought that's in the environment and everything else, that's probably the best game he's thrown all year, probably in his career at Jesuit, and just with his command early. Like there's times where he's going to overpower guys because he's just really really good, but the changeup was really good and threw it in some big spots, and I think the top of the 5th, I believe, the bases loaded, nobody out in it. And I think when he, we got out of it, and I think he punched out 3 in a row to get out of it. So when he did that, I think that took all the wind out of their sails, and we were able to kind of finish from there. We were trying. I gotta put this one in there. We were trying to get the complete game or CG for Cookie Garcia. I don't know if you noticed the CG helmets on our CG stickers on our helmets, but Cookie Garcia was an alum who passed away during the year, and big baseball guy, big supporter of myself and the program, and so we were trying to get Wes to finish that thing out. But 6 2/3, I'm not going to complain about that. So I'll open it up to any questions.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, the way Wes Mendez approached that inning where he got into a big jam there, and then to come back out and continue to give you more. I mean, is there anything else you can ask from a junior pitcher?
No, I mean, and a guy who he did everything and even more so. And it doesn't surprise me because there's nothing that I don't know that I've ever seen him rattled or shook on the field. I tell him all the time, and I'm going to probably offend my other guys here, but I tell him all the time, like any field we step on, we feel like he's the best player on the field for either team. And then that's not a knock on anybody else. That's just what we feel about Wes and what kind of guy he is. And I mean, he's been the catalyst. He's done such a great job for us on offense, and then had to take on more of the pitching burden with a couple of injuries that we had. And you saw, and we obviously knew, but he's so valuable to us offensively and playing center field that was like we kind of tried to use him in spots to kind of save him and preserve him a little bit. But for him, he had to kind of the second half of the year really be our co-ace along with Jamie, and he did everything and more that we could have asked. You couldn't ask for any more than what he gave us today.
Wes, are you uncomfortable with that kind of praise?
I mean, I'm not normally used to getting it, but I'll take it if I can get it. But it was a whole team effort. It wasn't just me. Everyone contributed. Carter, sack bunt, AJ, just being there leading, and Josh. Everyone's doing. Everyone helped.
You guys go to Georgia. You drop 3 out of 4 games. You in the Saladino, you get a loss, and then you kind of win and a loss. Then you lose 3 games in a row. But you guys put together a schedule that you knew would have you battle tested. When you're going through those tough times, how did you get through it? How did you stay from getting mired in it? I'll open that to any of the players.
I just feel like all of us embraced each other. There were a lot of ups and downs in the year, and we knew it would be a tough schedule when I talked to Coach Menendez when he first put it together. But, I can't talk enough about all these guys and how they responded each and every day and came and they showed up and they were ready. And by the time it hit the end of April, all of us we knew that it would be a dogfight every single game, but we embraced each other and we knew that we could be here today.
Carter West, he wasn't giving you a lot of strikes early in that first inning, but you had base runners on. Talk to me about manufacturing runs there without a hit.
The biggest things that our coaches teach us is to be selfless and not worry about getting that big bases loaded double down the line. It doesn't matter. Getting that bunt, I've been struggling with bunting the past. It happens. It's baseball. We've been doing a lot of that in practice, a lot of the small ball type of stuff for these situations, and in big games, that's what's going to win it. So.
And Wes, you say you didn't, it was a team effort, and I agree with you, but you got the win and you got the run that counted. Talk to me about that.
He did his thing.
Going up there, I knew I just had to put the ball in play, just drive something, somehow get a run across. Don't try to do too much, like Carter said, just get the ball in play and just score AJ.
How did you feel before the start today? What was your...
I just go through the same thing. I just have to treat it like any other game. You can't treat can't treat this game any different than you would a midweek, just regular season game. You know, you just have to take it one step at a time. Don't let nerves get to you. You know, do a breathing routine. I have a breathing routine that I do, and you know, you just go through it.
But you did finish the game the other night, right?
Yes, I did.
And
Yeah.
come back, was that I don't know, what was your physical, mental?
I mean, yeah, it happens. I mean, if you have to get the win, you have to get the win. Coach did what he had to do. I only threw 10 pitches, so it wasn't that bad. But still, you just have to keep going through it. Just go through the daily routine. Just keep going.
Josh Hines, you like Fort Myers?
I love it. I love it, yeah.
I mean, talk to me about that double. You guys finally got some hits going in that
Yeah.
fourth inning. You come through and you had some huge insurance runs, and really, I feel like you probably, took their spirit a little bit there.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that at bat.
So, I mean, it was second and third, so all I was trying to do was get at least one run in, put a run on the scoreboard just to get some insurance for Wes, who was absolutely dealing on the mound. But, yeah, I just saw a pitch I liked and hit it down the line.
Being his battery mate, I mean, him and Jamie. I mean,
Yeah.
This has been. You said it the other day that all you have to do is catch strikes.
Yeah.
And, but really, what is it like to just sit back and get a bird's eye view of the kind of their performances on the mound?
It's just fun to see the way they battle, like the tough inning that Wes had, bases loaded, no outs, and comes back and strikes out 3 guys. Like, that's the toughness that helps teams win, and did today. So.
Grant Jordan, just some awesome defense, especially the last couple of weeks. Talk to me about, being a first-year starter for this program and getting that experience and ending it with a gold medal around your neck.
Yeah, so I don't really know where my defense ability came from this year. Never really
It's
been
that
named
concussion.
Never really been named a defender, but any way to help our pitchers is a win. So yeah.
Ness, I mean, you get a lot of praise for being the leader of this team, and you can tell the vocal and the energy that you bring to it.
Yes, sir.
Ending your putting your career here with this gold medal, what does that mean for you?
It means all the world to me. I love this school and I love all my guys. I was fortunate enough to be here in 2019 and learn. So all the leaders that came before me, they kind of set the ground for what we were able to do now. But honestly, it means the absolute world to me. I knew that these guys could do it from day one. It was just, what could I do as a leader to bring that out in them? And I did.
Yeah.
So Coach said the bases get loaded, you go out and you have a conversation. What was
It was just kind of to remind him to relax and just kind of focus on the task at hand, right? Like, it's obviously a little easier to go out there in that situation knowing you have a 6-run lead. So, kind of telling him he could, go from the windup. Looked like he was a little more comfortable in the windup. Was, I don't want to say scuffling, but he gave up a flare and walked a guy on a 3-2 pitch. Thought maybe we might have had straight 3, but called and go our way. That happens. But just to kind of tell him to relax and, like, it's okay even if we give up 1 or 2 here to get out of it. Like, it's all right. Like just keep attacking. And knowing, those guys had their, 2 best guys at the top of the lineup coming up, we wanted to, just try to limit the damage as much as possible. I mean, obviously, I thought we had a chance, obviously, with Wes on the mound anytime to get out of it unscathed at all completely. But I would have traded 1 or 2 runs for 3 outs there at any point. And that was kind of the message to him. Just kind of settle in, don't try to do too much, and let's just finish this thing off.
How did you feel, Wes, in that moment?
I mean, you just have to keep attacking. You have to trust your pitches. You have to trust everything you have. Just let them, like Coach said, you let them hit it, and just let them. 1 or 2 runs, we're up a 6-run lead. You just have to let them do it. If they're going to touch it, they're going to touch it. If they don't, then they don't. So they didn't. So.
So you didn't get any.
I mean, I would be a little nervous, but I'm never really nervous that much really up there, to be honest with you. I just feel comfortable. I just feel comfortable when I'm up on the mound. I like being up there in those situations.
He probably threw the 3 best changeups of his Jesuit career to strike out the last guy. So
Josh Hines, all 3 swinging strike 3s
Yeah.
there in that inning. What were you calling? I mean, were you letting him do the heavy lifting? What did you see out of your pitcher in those last 3 strikes?
Well, I mean, the changeup was just working really well, so we just kept going back and back to it, and he located the changeup every single pitch, and they just couldn't touch it. It was disgusting.
Wes, you had 11 Ks today. I mean, was that 3 strikeouts there to get out of the gym? Was that the moment that you felt like, okay, well, I'm golden, or was it earlier in the day?
I mean, I felt good right when I originally got out there, but yeah, for sure those 3 Ks, those really got me going. I was really excited after that. It was a great moment.
Carter, do you feel guilty about not playing like soccer and track and field? 2 of the gold medals for Jesuit? Or? Talking about winning 2 gold medals
How did
for
you
2
miss
different
out on the
sports.
wrestling station?
Exactly.
I mean, I treat football and baseball like completely different. Like I go into football season and it's all football. I'm not really playing any baseball at all. And then season ends and I make the transition immediately and go into the winter break and just start hitting. And it's kind of hard to get back sometimes, but I mean, this year winning the championship kind of gave me like a lot of motivation to come out and try to do it again.
Did you like show up to BP wearing a gold medal the first day or anything like that?
I came in after our ring ceremony wearing the.
Yeah, I told him to wear it. I'll be honest with you. He told me I hugged, gave him a big hug after they won the football state championship, and the first thing he told me was we're going to win in the baseball too. So I told him, I appreciate that, but you can enjoy this one, and then we'll talk about that tomorrow. But that's just the kind of kid he is.
Yeah.
Coach, their coach and a senior sat in here just before you and praised your club and Wes. Pretty classy.
Yeah.
After a state championship loss, to give it all to you guys. And the other guys on the other side sat in here pretty classy.
And that's Bob does a great job over there. They've been knocking on the door the last few years, and those guys, they had a really good team. I just, they ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw today, but
That's exactly.
yeah, it's just, it's just one of those things where, I felt really good. I try not to tell these guys too much, but we obviously felt really good about the pitching matchup. They used their best guy on Thursday. We used our best guy on Thursday. The difference is when your number two's, a lefty that's going to Vanderbilt, that's pretty good number 2. But they, we knew that the guys at the top of the lineup, like the leadoff guy especially, we need to keep him off base. In fact, he's going to be Jamie Arnold's roommate at Florida State. So we knew like, hey, we got to keep him off base, and Wes did a good job. And the catcher's a really good player. We didn't try to run it all today. But keeping those 2 guys off base as much as we did really did it. But they've had a tremendous year, and I think it's the furthest they've ever gone in school history. So it's hats off to those guys, and I'm sure they'll be back here in the near future.
All right, time for one more question. Anybody's got one? Good. Guys, thanks so much
Nope.
for your time.